Remember our last video about Pedro Rodrigues Filho? We talked about how he was this biological reality. A guy born with a broken internal governor who accidentally inspired the whole vigilante archetype. He was the original blueprint. But today, we are looking at the echo. While Filho inspired the fictional character Dexter Morgan, the guy we are talking about today tried to drag that fiction back into the real world. Picture this, it's October 2008. We are on a quiet, crisp suburban street in Edmonton, Canada. It feels totally safe, right? But behind a rented garage door, this aspiring filmmaker named Mark Twitchell is setting up a stage. Except, this isn't your normal movie set. There are no cameras, no crew, and no craft services. Just a metal table, heavy-duty plastic sheeting, and a hockey mask. Twitchell didn't just relate to Dexter. He honestly thought he could do it better. He looked at Dexter's code like it was an IKEA instruction manual for murder. Here's the story of a guy who got so lost in a script that the fiction just swallowed him whole. So, who was Mark Twitchell? Honestly, on paper, he was as ordinary as they come. Born in '79, married, had a young daughter, and graduated with a degree in radio and TV arts. He was just a creative guy who wanted a breakout hit. Back in 2000, he even got a little internet fame for a Star Wars fan film. But here's the thing, Twitchell didn't just watch movies or TV shows. He let them override his actual personality. He ran a Facebook page pretending to be Dexter Morgan, role-playing with complete strangers. To everyone else, he was just a dedicated superfan. But in one private message, he actually wrote, "It sometimes scares me how much I relate to Dexter." Think of it like this. Imagine playing a super realistic VR racing game for so long that you genuinely believe you can steal a Formula 1 car and win the Monaco Grand Prix. Make sense? That's what we call narrative displacement. He read the code on screen and decided he was totally qualified to pull it off in real life. By the fall of 2008, he rented a garage in South Edmonton. To his neighbors, the sawing sound and cleaning supplies just looked like a messy indie film project. In reality, he was building a kill room. Fast forward to October 3rd, Twitchell sets his trap. He goes on a dating site, Plenty of Fish, and creates a fake profile for a woman named Sheena. He ends up messaging this guy, Giles Tetrault, who's just looking for a date. Twitchell gives him directions straight to that rented garage. But when Giles walks in, there's no Sheena. Just a guy in a hockey mask. Now, in the TV show, Dexter uses these perfectly dosed pharmaceutical-grade tranquilizers, right? Twitchell, he apparently brought plastic toy gun and a stun baton. Real life doesn't work like TV. A huge fight broke out. Giles realized that the gun was fake and fought for his life. He actually managed to escape out into the street. You'd think Twitchell would panic, pack up, and run. But no. He allegedly just saw this as a bad rehearsal, a screen test. He banked on the fact that Giles would be too embarrassed to go to the cops. And honestly, he was right. Giles stayed quiet, which gave Twitchell a terrifying 7-day window. A week later, on October 10th, Sheena goes back online. This time, the target is John Altinger, a 38-year-old pipe fitter. Just like Giles, John follows the direction to the garage. But this time, Twitchell adjusted his script. The evidence shows that the second John walked in, he was hit with a metal pipe and stabbed. Twitchell's kill room was officially active. Later on, police found a deleted file on Twitchell's computer called SK Confessions. And man, it was chilling. He writes about the murder like he is reviewing camera gear, bragging about the butcher knife, the fillet knife, and the saw. He was totally disassociated. It was like he viewed John's body not as a person, but as a messy special effect he had to clean up after the director yelled, "Cut." A few days later, he even posted on his Dexter Facebook page, "I crossed the line on Friday and I liked it." He really thought he had successfully graduated from being a fan to living the code. But here's where the whole mastermind illusion falls apart. Dexter is a forensic genius, right? Twitchell was just a guy in the digital age who couldn't stop logging his own crimes. After John disappeared, his friends got this weird email saying he had met a girl named Jen and ran off on a tropical vacation. His friends immediately knew this was garbage. John was a creature of habit. He didn't just ditch his life for the beach. More importantly, John had actually forwarded the driving directions to his friends before he left. The cops followed the exact directions right to Twitchell's garage, and inside it looked exactly like a crime scene movie set. Plastic on the windows, a scrubbed steel table that still had microscopic blood, and the hockey mask. When they searched his car, they found John's blood and a knife. They arrested him on Halloween. Pretty ironic, right? Twitchell tried to claim SK Confessions was just a screenplay, and that luring those guys was just a PR stunt for his movie. He tried to call it self-defense, but the forensics matched his script perfectly. You can't argue with the physical data. Looking back at this today, it's wild. It's the ultimate example of the copycat singularity. The moment when someone decides the fantasy is worth more than reality. And from a practical standpoint, this was a massive headache and a huge money pit for the city. The whole case took over 4,000 policeman hours. Just recovering that deleted SK Confessions file took specialized hardware that would cost around $85,000 today. It even tanked local engagement on dating apps for a while because everyone was genuinely freaked out. Twitchell tried to say Dexter had almost nothing to do with his case, but really, that's just a guy who wanted the dark glory of the kill without the embarrassment of being called a fanboy. He wanted to be the director, not the audience. Today, Mark Twitchell is sitting in a Saskatchewan prison serving a life sentence, and he allegedly still believes his own hype, even behind bars. His story is a cold, hard reality check. The Dark Passenger isn't some cool guide, it's a dead weight. He tried to build a real life out of TV tropes, and he destroyed an innocent man to do it. He was a filmmaker who forgot the one unbreakable rule of making movies. Eventually, the credits roll and the audience goes home. In the real world, the blood doesn't vanish like it does in a Miami TV lab. The plastic sheeting doesn't hide what you did. Pedro Rodrigues Filho was the real deal, born into violence. Mark Twitchell was just an echo who thought he could direct reality. In the end, they both got swallowed by the dark. So here's a question for you. Knowing that Twitchell used his fake screenplay as a literal blueprint, do you think today's social media platforms should have mandatory red flags for people who violently roleplay online? Or is that crossing the line into policing creativity? Let me know what you think in the comments. We will catch up in our next video. Until then, stay analytical and stay curious.